Note, didn't take me a year to get this up, so these are improvements. Stranger Things Season 2. So Stranger Things Season 2 picks up about a year after the first one ended. Our crew of young D&D nerds are together again, and with the addition of another one, the girls known as Mad Max, in a baffling display of how you integrate a new character into an already established group. Totally works. But the basic premise in this season is Will, the kid who disappeared to the Upside Down in the first season, is still connected to the Upside Down, and he's having these dreams or visions. Point is, the Upside Down is coming for him, and bad things are about to happen. And the organization Matthew Modine, Papa from the first season, the one he worked for, they're all like, hey, we're good now. But there are things happening that they're not telling everybody. But with Season 2, there are things I like, things I didn't. What I like is the talent involved. Everybody in this show is great, and they're only gonna get better. Watching Millie Bobby Brown, the one who plays 11, watching her act reminds me of when I saw Haley Joel Osment in The Sixth Sense. I don't know what that means for longevity's sake, but I'm just saying when I watch her, that's the feeling I get. Also, David Harbour, who plays the sheriff, Season 2 concentrates on him a bit more. I mean, he had ample time in the first season, but he has a whole arc in here that really is meant for him. And he hit me to my core, man. A couple times I was like, waterworks are coming. They're coming. I think he'll be great as Hellboy, but even if Hellboy is so good, I'll remember him as Jim Hopper forever. And the show keeps up the balance of horror and humor. Mostly from Dustin, that kid has great comedic timing. He can break the tension in intense scenes in a very real way. I suppose what I like most about Season 2 is it shows events change people. Will is not the same kid he was before he was trapped in the Upside Down. Mike is not the same kid he was since he lost 11. There's some straight up PTSD going around with these characters. I like that. It's very easy for a show to be like, all right, that's done. Well, now what? We're all the same. It's fine. No, people are not the same. A couple of times the editing was great too. There were these moments where information is coming together and it's editing back to the foreshadowing, tying that into the revelation. Sometimes shows and movies do it because they have to weave it in, otherwise people wouldn't make the connection. That's not the case with Stranger Things. I felt like you could make the connection without it. Just editing it like that made it just a little more slick. But what Stranger Things Season 2 does right is the concept of with every action there is a reaction. 11 making that breach, making contact with the Upside Down, that's a big deal. And it will have great effects on our world. Whereas Season 1 was a more personal approach with a kid missing, 11 making friends making friends with 11, a mom trying to find her son. This is the beginning of the reaction of that contact that will probably carry us through Season 4. But if I'm talking about what I didn't like right out the gate, I felt like this season took a few episodes to find its groove. Season 1 of Stranger Things, from the get-go, I was like, oh, I'm in. Every episode since then just brought me in with intrigue. It's like, oh, I'm more intrigued. By the end of that season, I was like, I'm the most intrigued of intrigued. I need to see Season 2. Season 2, though, plays the long con. It does pay off by the end, but until about episode 5, you're like, where are they going with all of this? I liked the integration of the new girl, Max, into the group. Her douchey brother, who I didn't recognize for the longest time. I had to IMDb him. I was like, who is he? Oh shit, he's Jason from the Power Rangers movie. He's one of the most disgustingly horrifying high school students I've ever seen in a movie or show. He's just a complete dick. He's the kind of person you're scared to be on the bus with. I don't feel like there was too much payoff with this character. However, I imagine it's setting up for Season 3. For a little bit, for 11's character, I was like, why are you in this season? I get why she's in the season, and again, by the end it paid off, but really, she's in this season. Her arc exists to expand David Harbour's character, which works for David Harbour's character, but when you have David Harbour's character and 11, otherwise known as the telepath who was born and bred to be a super government death weapon, if you have her with him only to expand his character, I feel like you're only doing half the picture justice. Before the comment section lights up, I know why it's important for him to have that arc with 11, his daughter and everything, but I also think it was really stupid for him to have all the information about 11's mom in the cabin where he's keeping her. I felt like that was just really convenient. Really, I felt like 11 in Season 2 was kind of like Siler in Season 2 of Heroes, where it's like you're in Season 2 because you kicked so much ass in the first season, kind of stole the show, so we have to have you in Season 2. I just feel like it would have been a cleaner ending for her if she died with the Demogorgon at the end of Season 1. Glad she's in it. I don't want to see Stranger Things without 11. I just feel like the reintegration of 11 into the show could have been smoother. Seeing as how she never even meets up with the crew until the very, very end. Other than that, she's hanging out in a cabin. And that also feeds into episode 7, which I'm not gonna lie, I didn't hate that episode as much as the internet told me I was supposed to hate the episode. Doesn't change the fact that that episode where 11 hooks up with that gang to commit crimes totally reminded me of Short Circuit 2, where Johnny 5 hooks up with that gang to commit crimes. It was totally Short Circuit 2, which you could probably say, well, that's the point. A lot of things in this show are throwbacks, but I saw throwbacks to Aliens. I saw throwbacks to The Exorcist. You're gonna have throwbacks throwbacks. Go throwbacks to them. Don't do a throwback to Short Circuit 2. She didn't need to hook up with that gang to find her way back. She could have just been like, oh, they're in trouble. I see that. I'm gonna go there from the cabin. And the reason that episode, at least for me, for my perception, feels unfulfilling is because the first thing that happens in a show, in a season, really is meant to establish where we're going. The first thing that happens is you see this other girl use her powers for her and her gang to evade the cops. And it doesn't touch on them at all after that, until 7 episodes later. And if that episode was completely taken out of this season, really the season would be no different. So you really feel like the show lied to you from the get-go. I think it's really cool that there are other kids out there. By implication, 11 is named 11, which means there are at least 10 other ones. But you feel like that's nothing but setup for season 3. Guys, in the end, Stranger Things season 2 paid off by the end. But for the first half of it, I was like, all right, let's pick it up. And I get a show doing the long con, where it's like, all right, it's time to build. But I felt Stranger Things season 1 was absolutely that. It's not like season 1 of Stranger Things was action-packed. Stranger Things season 1 was all build, but it was all very intriguing build. I like the second half of season 2 a lot more than the first half of season 2. That's when it amps up the stakes. You really see where they're going, but the crew really carries it. These kids are immensely talented. Or young adults. I hated being called a kid when I was their age, so there is that. If you think I hated season 2, I feel like I didn't illustrate my point correctly, and for that I apologize. I liked it, I just didn't love it as much as the first season. But you should really check it out. The internet loves season 2 every bit as much, if not more, than season 1. So I feel like I'm in the minority here, but I want to know what you guys think. Do you like season 2 more than season 1, or 1 more than season 2? Whatever you think, comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.